To get the Pocket 6K again or to get the Red Komodo? That is the question. Hey guys, so as you know, the Pocket 6K has been around for about a year now. The Red Komodo has unofficially released. It's probably going to come to an end towards the end of this year, and the regular black version, production version, going to be released. Things I feel that Pocket 6K's got going for it. Yeah, 6K resolution, was priced at $2,500 US. Now they've sort of dropped the price again to $2,000 US. I don't know why Blackmagic decided to do that, because it was pretty well priced as it was. You know, good news for newer buyers, but you know, for people that sort of like bought the camera initially, they'll probably be a bit pissed off, because you know, if Blackmagic's going to be dropping price of cameras like less than a year after they release them, why would people go out and buy their cameras like straight away? If they just like have to wait a few months, they're going to drop the price. It's extremely well priced for what it is. It's like a proper cinema camera. It's got dual ISO, good in low light compared to like the previous sort of Blackmagic cameras. CFast cards, it takes you know, SD cards, external SSDs. I personally always like just recorded to internal SD cards, just because you know, I didn't really need high frame rates and things like that, and I'd sort of do it on 12:1 compression. At the moment, the Red Komodo's only got high quality or medium quality compression. Low quality setting would be pretty good. I wasn't crash hot about the form factor of the Pocket 6K. They always make these weird shaped cameras. The original cinema camera was this sort of weird rectangular pyramid, sort of hard to describe if you know what I mean. Pocket 4K and 6K, it's kind of like a squashed, elongated DSLR almost, so to the fact where it wouldn't comfortably fit in a lot of the gimbals people use, especially if you're using if you had a cage on it, you'd have to take the cage off and make it fit and get like maybe a little offset sort of plate to make it fit. The fact that it had a fixed screen on the back, that kind of pissed me off about the Pocket 6K. You know, people were saying, oh, I wish I had a flip screen, all that kind of crap. I didn't really care about that. I just didn't like the placement. It was like right on the back, usually just going to be behind the camera, right? You're going to have it on a tripod or whatever, or doing handheld stuff, and you're going to be looking at it back. And I didn't even care about, you know, people saying that the sun was shining on it and you couldn't see the screen or whatever. What my problem on it was, because the battery life on the camera was so shit, the fact that if I wanted to mount a V-mount battery on it, and that screen was on the back too, I'd have to mount the battery. This is the back of the camera. You'd have to mount the battery about, you know, like half a foot to a foot away, you know, via rod rails. And people would just sort of say that that's my minimalist rig. You're not gonna freaking go out to the city and not attract attention with this like rig with like, you know, rods on it, with a big ass V-mount battery at the back, this camera here, and like people had like matte boxes and stuff. Okay, if you're gonna shoot for about like 15 minutes or something, you just want to get some quick footage, yes, you can just put an internal LP6 battery in there, record. But if you want to record for longer than that, unless you got like, you know, 4 or 5 batteries in your pocket, it'll just get arduous. With the Komodo, you can either use the Canon batteries, or you could get like an adapter or whatever, but mount a V-mount flush to the back of it. The screen's on top, so you can still see your screen, use the touch screen and everything to change your settings and all that. The Pocket 6K, I like the fact that it had the EF mount. People are like, oh, they shouldn't have gone for the EF mount because it's an older mount, you know, it's old technology. You've got to understand where Blackmagic design was sort of coming from. They were aiming for the lower end of the market, and so they're expecting people to use EF lenses. You could say, like, you know, anything from like actual Canon ones or Rokinon ones, or, you know, Samyang or whatever, or Sigma. With the Komodo RF mount, people are saying it's okay. They've sort of future-proofed themselves, even though it doesn't actually support RF lenses at the moment. So you have to use an adapter if you want to use, you know, basically try it out at the moment. I'm sure that'll get fixed when the production camera comes around. But RF lenses at the moment, they're like crazy expensive. If you want to buy a Canon RF lens, a decent sort of one, it'll cost you like between in Australian dollars, it'll cost you like something like $4,000, and that's crazy expensive for a stills photography lens. It's not like a cinema lens or anything like that. The cheapest ones I've sort of seen so far are those new cinema lenses by Meike, Meike. They're pretty well priced at about US $600 or something like that. So you'd have to rig the Pocket 6K up to make it very like practical and usable. You'd have to rig it up. With the Komodo, Red Komodo, it seems like you can pretty much just use it as is. So you could just slap on the Canon batteries, put on a lens with the adapter at the moment, but they'll fix that, and you're sort of good to go. CFast cards, yeah, expensive, but once they sort of release the lower compression ratios with the firmware updates, that should be good. I am tempted to get the Red Komodo just because it has a red badge on it. But apart from that, do I need the Komodo? No, I don't, because everything I can do with the Red Komodo, I could do with the Pocket 6K. And, I had some better frame rate options with the Pocket 6K. If I was recording to 24 or 25 frames per second, I had the option of recording double that frame rate for slow-mo. With the Komodo, you can do that only at 40 frames per second, so not quite double. If they just got to that double mark, I'd be totally happy with it. So you've got to ask yourself the question, what am I going to use this camera for? Is your main thing to make videos for YouTube? Is it to make real estate videos? Do you need a Red Komodo? No, you don't, because like for the moment, this video I'm recording at the moment, this is on my 2.5-year-old Samsung Android phone, and it doesn't look half bad. I'm not even like well lit. For example, if I just got some like polystyrene or something like that and just gave myself some decent 3-point lighting, it might look alright, but it doesn't look half bad at the moment as it is. I've got like one light. I'm using one light at the moment just to backlight me, just because this side was way too dark. It still is a little bit, but yeah, like I said, it doesn't look too bad. If you're making videos just for YouTube, like vlogging kind of stuff, you can easily make that on your phone. If you're doing travel videos and all that kind of stuff, look for it. Even though the Komodo is a small cinema camera, it's not a small camera. So compared to something like a like a mirrorless camera these days, with the quality you get with a mirrorless camera in terms of video and photography, the Komodo is not that great in terms of size. Even like, so this 10-year-old DSLR, Nikon DSLR that I've got, that's actually smaller than the Red Komodo, right? So if you're looking for a small option, there are way better options out there. If you get like if you're making like real estate videos where you're going from inside to outside and doing these little shots where you're sort of like entering the front door, going from outside to inside and all that kind of stuff, maybe you need like a low light camera, like one of the Sony alpha flavors, like a Sony A7 III or A7S III or whatever. It'll probably be cheaper. Sony lenses aren't that expensive. They're fairly well decently priced. Are you going to be making commercials for Instagram and stuff? Well, in that case, if most of your target audience is going to be viewing it back on their phones, you don't need a 6K camera in the first place. You're probably going to be just as happy with the Pocket 4K, or just some other camera, even the original Pocket Blackmagic Pocket camera that was recorded to like 1080p. So you're probably even going to be happy with that. That'll probably cost you like next to nothing these days. So do you need like a $6,000 camera? Don't even think about getting the Stormtrooper. If you have to pay $1,000 extra just to get a different color, that's ridiculous. Like you should not be paying $1,000 extra just to get a different color, especially for a camera that's in beta stage at the moment. So like, if anything, Red should be offering these cameras at a slightly cheaper rate so that people have some sort of incentive to buy it early on while it's in its beta stage, so they can provide Red with some feedback, this thing's fucked up. So essentially what they're doing is they're charging people more at the moment to essentially test the cameras for them. which I think is like kind of strange. I had the Scarlet X back in the days. I really liked the image that I used to get out of that camera. I was just like this more organic, softer, not softer, but a more organic sort of image, and you know, it kind of looked like a movie. With Pocket 6K, can you get the same sort of results? Yeah, absolutely. You can get Pocket 6K footage. You can grade it right and everything, and it'll look like fantastic. You get footage from a, you know, like a Sony camera, not 8-bit, but like say 10-bit. You can make that look fantastic as well. You don't always need RAW, but although it's quite handy. Is the Komodo worth it compared to the Pocket 6K? It's like 3 times the price. If you get the standard production version, it's 3 times the price of the Pocket 6K. Is the image good on the Komodo? Yes, it is. From all the, you know, test footage and stuff I've seen so far, it looks okay. Like, it hasn't like blown my socks off, but it looks okay. But I say that because a lot of people are either done like test footage, like, you know, some low light tests and some random sort of tests of their partner walking around in the woods or something like that. Joey Helms, Jay Helms. His B-roll looks pretty fantastic, but then again, any footage you take during golden hour with nice sunset is going to look fantastic anyway, so I wouldn't really go on that. Very minimalist package for you know, gimbal use. So because it is essentially designed to be a crash cam. It's meant to complement your other footage. If you've got a Red Monstro or a, you know, Gemini or something like that, it's meant to be sort of complement your footage with that, so you don't have to intermix that footage with, you know, GoPro footage. You know, like people are sort of going on about how it's the most affordable Red so far and it's cheap, and it's not cheap. $6,000 US. Like for example, I live in Australia, so landed here with all the import taxes and everything, it's probably gonna, like, that $6,000 camera is probably gonna end up costing closer to about $8,000, I think, US, about $10,000 Australian. It's gonna cost. So, you know, it's not exactly cheap. If you're looking at hobby sort of filmmaking and all that kind of stuff, I definitely advise against it. If you're using it for actual paid work, yeah, get it. If I was doing it for hobby kind of stuff or real estate kind of stuff, I think it'd be overkill for real estate videos. Would I use it for, you know, videography in, like, for weddings and stuff? Absolutely not. No, I would not, because the only media options available for our CFast cards at the moment. CFast cards are insanely expensive. Cheaper than their, you know, Red mini mags and stuff, but it's still something like $600 for US for or 900 Australian dollars for a 512 gigabyte CFast card, which will, at the current settings, it will let you record about 35 minutes worth of footage on it. So what the hell are you gonna, you know, how are you gonna buy like 10 of these CFast cards? Unless you're like rolling in the money, I don't think that's a viable option. With a Pocket 6K that's sort of rigged up and you've got an external SSD attached to it, you're recording on like quality 12:1, which actually looks fantastic. Like I haven't seen any image degrading or anything like that. You can record for hours, man, for vlogging and stuff. Some people have been saying, okay, you can use the Red Komodo for vlogging. It's not realistic. Can you use it for vlogging? Yeah, you probably can, but you're gonna look like a freaking idiot. So just to reiterate, the main things that the Komodo has going for it is its form factor, the fact that it's got global shutter. I didn't think that was a huge big deal until people sort of pointed out, like, okay, your Pocket 6K, because it's got rolling shutter, if you're doing handheld footage, you can see that wobble. And I never noticed it before until they told me. And then I sort of went back and like looked at some stuff that I'd sort of recorded back in the past, and I was like, oh yeah, shit, I can kind of tell. Apparently, it's not that great in low light. If you got control of your environment, if you're like on a set, I can set up lights, I can do whatever. So for that, it's good. I wish they had interchangeable mounts like all the other Red cameras. It's probably not going to be, you know, viable at that price point, but it would have been good, because do I want to invest a bunch of money in RF lenses? No, I don't. Would I prefer to invest in PL mount lenses and use that on this with an interchangeable mount? Yes. Now you can use a PL to RF adapter. You know, there's ones from Wooden Camera and Tilta and everything, but they're pretty big. So you got this cube of a camera, and then you got this adapter that comes out like a couple of inches out of the camera, and then you got like a lens on top of that. So, and PL lenses generally aren't that small anyways. So I kind of just contradicted myself there, didn't I? Yeah, RF lens is probably good. RF lens mount probably a good choice. So yeah, whatever. Ignore what I said. I'm not sure if Red's got some sort of like a deal going on with Canon at the moment, because they got the Canon batteries and they got the Canon RF mount. Then they got the autofocus thing going on. But look, if this rambling video helped you out in making up your mind at all, please give this video a like and subscribe if you can. I'll put up more nonsensical videos like this in the future. So, anyway, peace out, guys. Have a good one.